1 year after the world was stunned by a non-Mario game launching alongside the new GameCube console, the next true Mario game, Super Mario Sunshine, was released. It was rather different as it takes place entirely during Mario's vacation, using a whole new set of moves. Through the years, people have used these new moves to break the game like no one had seen before. Before I start things off, I wanted to mention that most of the glitches done here were performed on the 3D All-Stars version, the limited run compilation game Nintendo released on the Switch. This new version boasts upscaled textures and a widescreen display. They did eventually add support for a GameCube controller, so I'll be showing inputs for both Switch and GameCube whenever necessary. In fact, a good glitch to start with would be rocket storage. It's fairly simple when you get it down. After collecting the rocket nozzle, you want to be facing perpendicular to a ledge and switch to the standard flood nozzle. From here, hold L, switch to the rocket nozzle, and then hold R until just before you hear the trigger click. Around the time the rocket has nearly finished building up pressure, you want to let go of L. When timed right, if you switch to the standard nozzle, hold L again, and sidestep off the ledge, you'll be launched upwards. How high you go depends on how many times you did the rocket storage. Use up your entire tank, and you'll be launched above the stratosphere. I wonder if this is where they got the idea for Galaxy. Similarly, you can achieve the same effect while trying to use your rocket on a tightrope. If you get hit by a gust of wind, you'll be launched up the same way. But these aren't the only ways for Mario to become an astronaut. In Gelato Beach, there are some sprouts on the sand. Water them and sculptures will pop up. There are a couple exceptions though, with a staircase revealing coins in a hidden shine, and a footprint being revealed down into the sand rather than above it. Using these sprouts, if you ground pound at just the right time when the sculpture is about to reveal itself, you'll instantaneously be sent miles up. The only thing about this is that you don't have to wait for Mario to fall all the way back down, as after about 7 seconds, the camera will rush back down to the ground where Mario is. A lot of glitches in platforming games involve going out of bounds, and Sunshine is no exception. In Delfino Plaza, using the indoor box minigame building, if you angle Mario perpendicular to the doorway, ground pound and continue to hold L while you move towards the doorway. While you're sidestepping, you'll want to switch to the hover nozzle, as the moment you leave the building you'll be sent under the ground. When hovering just below the shop, if you can touch the loading zone for going inside and then fall down, you'll have turned the entire town invisible. This happens as when you're inside the building, the indoor zone is loaded high above the town, unloading everything else so the game doesn't suffer from poor performance. You can perform the same glitch if you have the rocket nozzle and stand up against this part of the Rico Harbor building. After launching, you'll want to dive as soon as you see the inside of the building. This glitch will only last for as long as you're in town, as going anywhere else and coming back will reset everything back to normal. That probably isn't what you had thought of when I said going out of bounds. That was just a warm-up, but here comes the fun stuff now. For some reason on specific roofs, if you hover into its side, Mario will clip pretty easily through it. You may end up landing in one of the plaza's underground tunnels, but you can also land underneath the map. If you triple jump and hover high enough, you can ground pound to walk on the ocean floor, taking in all the invisible geometry that's for some reason there. While out of bounds, you don't want to stand on this ground for too long, as if you do, Mario will suddenly die and be brought back in bounds. There's also some fencing behind the Shine Gate, where if you swim downwards while up against it, you'll fall through. Actually, there is something else you can find while out of bounds. However, it's only possible in version 1.0 of the game, most commonly found in the American and Japanese GameCube versions. After collecting 10 shines, this vehicle in the water will appear, sending the nearby Toads in a frenzy as Peach was just taken moments ago. There's one Toad who will mysteriously roam under the map. It's possible to stop and talk to him, however you want to be careful as again standing in one place under the map too long will kill you. It's interesting as this seems to be somewhat similar to Super Mario 64's Goomba Trio, who ends up missing one of its members. This lost Toad was later fixed in version 1.1, where he runs along the buildings just before the river. Now how about some glitches that speedrunners use? When you enter Gelato Beach, there's one shine sprite that will be present throughout all the other missions. This one comes from the final mission of this world. It sits there in its glass tube, almost taunting you to come and take it. And this is exactly what speedrunners did. Grabbing a coconut from a nearby tree, make your way over to the juice bar. Set the coconut down just before you get there, and turn your camera to the right just a bit. Grab onto the end of this roof, and then press L to center the camera behind Mario. You're in a good position, so don't change the camera angle, and from here on out you're only allowed to move backwards and forwards. After grabbing up onto the ledge, by jumping and then moving while midair, you can grab the coconut you set down without changing your angle. Walking toward the juice bar, you want to do a spin jump to land on the roof. Once you're just in front of this line on the roof, set the coconut down and run forward until you're close to the edge of the roof, at which point you want to hover. You don't want to hold forward constantly, but by judging where Mario is, you can avoid clipping back in bounds, so you can eventually get enough height to pass through more walls and clip into the tube with the shine. Doing that will allow you to skip pretty much all of Gelato Beach's missions, as the requirement for going to the final boss is that you must have collected all the Shadow Mario Shine sprites, with every one being mission number 7. This is the only world in the game with that large of a skip, but there are some other things you can do to go quickly. In Serena Beach's 3rd mission, you have to traverse a large vent system which contains multiple obstacles, going through many rooms just to get a pineapple for Yoshi, so you can then go back to the vent and then—
Shut up!
I'm sorry? I was just explaining how to get Yoshi. You have to go all over the place.
Will you shut up? Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Actually, all you have to do is grab a banana bunch, make it to the top floor, face away from this glass, then hold R and press A to do a backflip, hold up on the control stick, and when up against the glass, hold down and press B. On top of the Shine Gate is a pipe leading to Pianta Village. During the 5th mission, you have to find out which fruit the Yoshi egg wants, go to the tree with all the fruit, bring it to him, then use him to go all the way to a mushroom which has an obstacle that Yoshi can clear. Either that, or just go to the mushroom by yourself, face this tree so you cover this much of the pattern in the texture, walk forward and then hover after just a little bit, move back towards the mushroom, grab onto it, hold down, tap B, and then hover after sliding down some. Maneuvering very carefully, you can clip into the mushroom to skip Yoshi altogether. I know, there are a lot of steps to this stuff, but that's what makes these oddities that much more satisfying to pull off. In fact, one of the coolest glitch rewards is that you can hover in the air, on a lily pad. During one of Bianco Hill's less chaotic missions, you can use one of these lily pads to travel across the lake. But we want to get out of bounds, right? Over on the left side of the walkway leading up to the windmill, there's some grass that runs alongside this rock wall. It's here where the grass is almost completely gone that we start the process. Move the pad so it's in between these 2 grass markings on the wall, and slide it as far into the wall as it can possibly go. Hop off of it and lure a Skeeter over to where you are. He'll come to you quickly if you jump out of the water and land back in after the Skeeter has finished moving. Luring him over to the bottom of the pad, stand in the center of this pad with Mario angled just slightly to his right. You want to spray water this way, and ground pounding when there's not much progress being made. After repeatedly doing this a number of times, you'll see the pad clip through the wall. If for whatever reason you have a hard time getting to this point, be it the Skeeter doesn't want to cooperate or the pad is being stubborn, just exit the level and come back. If you do make it this far, then you're nearly there. You want to Super Mario your way up to this raised section of the level. Your goal is to jump into this portion of the wall which has no collision, and then start hovering so you can dive to the water out of bounds. The collision here is a bit wonky, and there's a chance you may die if you don't move the right way, but enough practice will help you figure out the correct movement. Once you land in the water, all you have to do is stand on the lily pad and go for a joyride. You can see things a little closer than you were meant to. It's pretty neat seeing the level from this perspective, but don't go too far away though, cause you could end up warping down to the death floor. How about we take it easy for now? Here's something very simple to do. In Pendant Park's first mission, you tail Shadow Mario and chase him through the amusement park. You're then forced to watch a cutscene showing Shadow Mario pulling off some otherworldly feats of gravity, showing his large metal Bowser he created to attack you. After fighting the Bowser robot, we are then greeted by the imposter Shadow Mario's true identity, which, spoiler alert, is Bowser Jr. Lots of talking later, you get to grab the shine and finish the mission. But if you've played the game enough to want to skip watching these cutscenes, you could do just that. For the first cutscene, start a water slide that will go to the pool section which starts said cutscene. For better visual cues, slide along the right side of this merry-go-round, holding forward to go at full speed. Once Mario passes these pink poles, pause the game and exit the level. For whatever reason, the exit function will fail, but it will skip that cutscene. As for after the roller coaster fight, wait until you see a ring of explosions along the ground. That will be your cue to pause and exit the level again. The timing for these skips are actually pretty lenient, so you shouldn't have much trouble as long as your timing is reasonable. The very next mission, you have to stop a Monty Mole from terrorizing the beach. Using bombs you throw at him, you'll take him down so you can enter a secret level. At a certain time after he throws a bomb, you can jump dive towards the mole, causing you to fall into the hole while Monty makes his retreat. The loading zone inside is present, so you'll warp straight to the secret. In addition to that, you can also have fun with some of Monty's projectiles. After completing Pinna's 4th mission, Shadow Mario will stand in Delfino Plaza holding a Yoshi egg. It's at this point, if you go back into Pinna Park, that Yoshi will be unlocked for all the missions. He wants a fruit, but how are you gonna get that when there's no fruit to be seen anywhere? Well, there is actually a variety of fruit under the sand. All you have to do to bring them up is water that section of sand. Using this fruit map from Reddit user Borgolamore, you can figure out where you'll find the fruit. Anyways, during the 2nd mission and after breaking Yoshi out of his shell, walk over to the mole and wait for him to throw 4 bombs. Once there are 4 on the ground, quickly spray them with Yoshi so they turn into platforms. Once the mole throws another bomb, it should disappear pretty quickly after landing. If you hop off of Yoshi, then spray and grab the bomb quickly, you'll end up holding a glitchy bomb. Mario won't move quite right, and while jumping in certain directions, you could get him stuck in a loop of bouncing off the bomb while gaining height. How about a glitch that was oddly enough put into the game in a later version? It's as simple as riding Yoshi, collecting a fruit from a distance, but while Yoshi is grabbing the fruit, get off of him and the fruit is floating. This is called fruit storage, which, when back on Yoshi, no matter where you are, if you press B, he'll eat the fruit that was stored. This particular storage gets rid of the stored fruit's collision. What I'm amazed with is that this was in the later version of the game, as in version 1.0, this can't happen. Although in the Japanese version, even though you can't store fruit, you can make it hover. By jumping while running with the fruit, then quickly performing another jump, followed immediately by throwing the fruit, either by pressing B a couple times or just holding it, he'll re-grab and then set the produce down. It'll hover in the air, and unlike fruit storage, this fruit still has its collision. While we're on the Japanese version, you remember that invisible Delfino Plaza glitch from earlier? Well, say goodbye to the precise setups because, when using Yoshi, you can dismount off of him while near a ceiling. This will cause Mario to clip through any ceiling at all. It may not be super useful to skip things, but hey, it's cool. There is a lot more I could talk about involving glitches with this game. Speedrunners and glitch hunters managed to find so many different things they could do that weren't intended. If you would like to see more glitches from this game, let me know in the comments below. With that being said, thank you for watching, and until next time, take care and peace.